Alright, nerds. I just ate a banana, so let's do a tier list. This is going to be pretty much from the MCU movies, so that's why the pictures are like this. Anyway, let's do it. Thor, S tier. He's cool. I'm always drawn. I always have an affinity for lightning powers. I think they're sweet. He goes real hard in Infinity War. The combo moves him and Captain America pull off, low key, kind of slap. So, excuse me. He's gonna go into S tier. Plus, once he gets Stormbreaker, oh, it's awesome. Hulk. He started off in A tier, but I'm going to have to bring him down to C tier. He continuously gets weaker and weaker and continuously gets more and more boring as the movies go along. Like, first Avengers and Age of Ultron, he'd be an A tier, but he just gets less and less and less intimidating as it goes on. He didn't even get a rematch with Thanos. Oh man. And I don't know. In Endgame, all he did was hold up the building, which is like, yeah, whatever. Cool. But he didn't, like, they showed him, like, punching and throwing a couple of guys, and that was it. Boring. Hawkeye. He is right around the same level as Hulk for me. I don't. It's not that I dislike him. It's just that all the other characters are way more interesting. That being said, I did like his Disney Plus show, like a lot more than I thought I would. So whatever that's worth. But yeah, he's just a guy with a bow and arrow, and then like they gave him the sword, but I don't know. It's just he's just kind of there. He doesn't like really use any trick arrows or anything, so I don't know. I don't really got much to say about him. That's kind of why he's in C tier because he's whatever. Ant-Man. It's kind of like he's like the same issues as Hawkeye, but they actually made him interesting. Top of A tier. Very much like him. Jeez. He's just a guy that got caught up in something bigger than himself. But, like, his technology is actually cool. Especially when he goes giant. Remember, that was a huge deal in Civil War. I lost my mind. It was awesome. But, like, I've never been interested in, like, the shrinking power. But, like, I don't know, with Ant-Man, they just make it cool. And, like, just controlling the ants is just fun. Like, that's just a bonus. But, hey, like, just a guy literally just a guy that became a superhero. Sorry, I'm super congested. Oh my god. I knew this was a mistake. Oh well, we're gonna get through it together. Nebula. Gonna put her into A tier. She probably has the most character development out of anybody in this list, going from like a crazy villain to like an actual Avenger / Guardian, especially Guardians 3. And like it doesn't feel forced; it feels natural, like where her allegiances would lie, like at that point in the timeline. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. No, I do think she's got really good character development. but I'm gonna bring it down to B tier because I feel like because she has so many robotic parts, she's just like she just can like fix any situation with like stuff that's just built into her, which is whatever. Like it makes sense. I just feel like sometimes it's too easy of an answer. It's like, oh, how do we get out of this situation? Oh, Nebula's arm can convert into this, whatever. I mean, it's still cool, but I don't know. Vision. I'm gonna put it's around the same as Nebula. Um, I know he's called Vision, and they're like, oh, he's a mix of Vision and Ultron and all these things, but I just like to think of it as Jarvis just coming to life. Um, I think it's cool. Love his forehead beam. He's one of the hero deaths that has actually mattered and has impacted like the overall story more instead of just like faking out or like having come back. I know there's the White Vision, but we haven't seen him since the end of WandaVision, so I don't know what's going on there. But another thing I'm really glad is that they didn't shy away from like the romance between Scarlet Witch and Vision, even though it made no sense whatsoever. But it's pretty cool. Star-Lord, S tier. Like he was part celestial because of ego, whatever, blah blah blah. But other than that, he's literally just a space pirate / cowboy, whatever. And he's a great tactician, and that's where his like strength lies. Like everybody on his crew is probably stronger than him in some way, but his leadership skills and like strategy is why they look up to him, why they listen to him. And I always think that's a cool dynamic. It's like when the rest of the team is just overpowers you so easily, but they still respect you. It's great. Like in Infinity War one, like him, Mantis, and Drax actually get Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man to a standstill. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. Black Panther. He's either bottom of B or top of C, and I know a lot of people aren't gonna like that, but tell me one thing interesting that they did with him. I think the coolest thing they did with him is giving him the new suit with the ability to absorb the kinetic energy or whatever, and like purple, and then you can use the force field. Like I think that's really cool, and I'm glad it carried on from his movie to Infinity War and all that. But he, I don't know. I don't really have any like. I just don't find him interesting. Like he's supposed to be like so strong at everything, and like in Civil War he's going after Bucky, and Bucky was able to hold his own. I mean, if the fights stayed longer, Black Panther definitely would have won. I'm not saying that, but all I remember is everybody came out of his movie caring more about the villain. But it's kind of cool that he listened to the villain and like started opening up resources to the rest of the world. But hey, like the suit absorbing the energy is cool. And that's all I got. I don't know. Bucky. Put him at A tier. He actually makes me like Black Panther more because of his like relationship or whatever. Zemo tried to blame him for killing Black Panther's dad, all that, blah blah blah. And like you watch him go from Cap's friend to the Winter Soldier, Civil War, where like they're just trying to kill all the other Winter Soldiers or stop them, whatever. And then, the whole brainwashing thing where Wakanda takes them in and then they fix them. And that's probably the only good part of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, is where they show that Bucky is finally free of the mind control. And they gave him a cool arm. But, like, all that cool stuff has to do with Bucky. Or even Okoye. Black Panther is just kind of like a device to fix Bucky. I don't know. That's just kind of the gist I got. No disrespect towards the actor. Rest in peace, obviously. But, like, I think Shuri is a way more interesting Black Panther. Like, I much preferred Wakanda Forever over the first Black Panther. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Captain goes into voodoo. It's really funny. When I first started watching those movies, I wasn't the biggest fan, and then watched Winter Soldier, made him completely badass, and I was like, okay. And then Civil War, same thing. It's just like, I went back, watched his first movie, liked it more, liked him in the Avengers more, all that stuff. But, like, he's just awesome. I don't know. Especially in Endgame when he's picking up Thor's hammer, I almost shit my pants. It was awesome. But it's kind of the same thing with Star-Lord. Like, a lot of the people on the Avengers can definitely overpower him, but they still listen to him because they know, like, he's got the best strategy. Yeah, he's just great. He's just a guy that everybody expects to be perfect, but, he's just a guy doing his best in a world he doesn't belong in. And that's just interesting dynamic. Doctor Strange just going into S tier also. Bringing straight up magic into the MCU. Pretty cool. Never thought they were going to do it, but I love it. And it's like, he plays it so good that you just don't question it. I don't know. And, like, it's kind of cool how he, like, helps out, like, the younger members of the Avengers. Like, Spider-Man, he's got that somewhat relationship with after Infinity War. And then, also America Chavez, right? That's her name. He kind of, like, helps her out, too. I know, it's pretty cool. But, hey, what do I know? Other than that, he's a cool sorcerer. Anyway, Drax. C tier. But the top of C tier because he's actually funny. However, like, he's just supposed to be super strong, but they never really showcase that. And all they do to show his strength is he's opening heavy doors. And that's kind of it. Like, I don't know. I'm just always underwhelmed by, like, what they don't do with him. It feels like he gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Like, he feels the strongest in the first. Like, in Infinity War, when he's just holding Thanos' leg, like, what is he doing? That's all he does that entire movie. But funny. Love the Guardians. So, he gets to stay at the top of C tier. Gamora. It's fine. It's kind of like, very similar to Vision, where her death actually impacts the overall storyline in a huge way. Cool, she was definitely able to help Nebula, become a hero. But, being the daughter of Thanos, at first it was, like, super interesting. And then it just, you see where it goes, and then that's it. That's her storyline concluded. But, she's supposed to be the deadliest woman in the galaxy, but Nebula was always giving her the beans. I don't know. Yeah, I don't got much to say. Anyway, Groot, A tier, pretty cool. I think it's cool that they start adult and then they go to the baby, and then he's been teen and now he's an adult again. Very, very fun character. You know, like he's got all those nature powers that like no matter what he's doing, you don't question it because it just makes sense. Guardians 3, when he's got like 6 guns and is shooting them all, it's awesome. You know, like he's great. Definitely a great character. I don't got a lot to say other than what I've already said, but like I like Groot a lot. Iron Man, S tier. Very cool guy. You know, he's this guy that no one should like because he's such a jerk, but everybody likes him. And you know, like he, I like the whole theory that he's on borrowed time and knows that, so he's always willing to sacrifice himself, you know, to save the day. And I think that's pretty cool. Also, I don't know who made the video, but on YouTube you can find out, like you can go see how he upgrades his suit after like every failure, like after something goes wrong, like installing the parachute in Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit after, you know, Rhodey fell all the way down in Civil War. So I think that's super cool how like they actually paid attention to that. But yeah, Mantis, top of B tier. You would think she's kind of useless, but like her powers are probably the most creative. Like they get with it, like putting her on top of Thanos. It's like, oh, okay, like she can actually calm him down. You know, in like Guardians 3, just taming those giant monsters. I forgot what they were called. It's been a while since I watched it. You know, pretty awesome. But yeah, she's pretty cool. Pretty funny part of the team because she has like no idea what's going on. Super naive. Rocket, top of A tier. Pretty cool guy. Guardians 3 really delved into his story. Super heartbreaking. Cool guy. Like he's just a whiz with guns and explosives and all that stuff. I think it's cool that you can go back and watch the 3 Guardians movies, but with him as the main character after Guardians 3. That's a very cool way to look into those movies. I don't know. Just a cool guy. Scarlet Witch is also going to Voodoo tier. It's like Doctor Strange, but even better. My only gripe is that she became a villain again too quickly. I was hoping in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, like her and Doctor Strange were gonna team up against Mordo or something, and then like, you know, have her do some like questionable things, and then after that in another movie become the villain. I don't know, but super strong, super badass. Her relationship with Vision, you know, it doesn't make any sense, but I'm glad they didn't shy away from it. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. Black Widow, you know, like she's got the gadgets and stuff, the espionage, but like they got to give her tasers and stuff to like fight the Ultron robots. I don't know. She's just like kind of there. Her more interesting, the most interesting parts about her character is her like dynamic with like Tony and Steve and all of them. But like on her own, it's just kind of whatever. And it's really weird that they made her movie after she died. So, I don't know. But, I don't got anything against her, but it's like being on the front lines kind of just doesn't make sense for her. But, unless the theory is true, where she has like some sort of different version of superhero or super soldier serum, then it makes more sense. But like they hint at it in the Black Widow movie, but it's never really confirmed or anything. So I don't know. About middle of B tier. Spider-Man. Right here. About the middle of A tier. It's nothing with the character. I'm just not a huge Spider-Man fan, and I never have been. Like, I don't got anything against him, but I can tell you that MCU has actually done a good job of actually making his fights interesting, because in the other Spider-Man movies before the MCU, I never found Spider-Man fights interesting. Best scene is the No Way Home scene where like he just gets the shit kicked out of him in the apartment. That was intense the first time I watched it. I don't know, but I do think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. But he's cool. His movies are fine. I'm not a fan of the ending of Homecoming where the Vulture suit just kind of explodes. Like, I really wanted to see how he was going to get out of that one, and he just got lucky, and it didn't feel like he actually stopped the Vulture. Anyway, he's going to the middle A tier. He's cool. I do like him. It's just that the whole Spider-Man character in general, I'm not the biggest fan of. Captain Marvel. This might shock you guys, but I'm going to put at the top of C tier. It's like the opposite. What's up, Smoke? Opposite issues I have with Drax and Hulk, where like they don't really show their strength. Captain Marvel, she's like too strong, so like it's like I don't know. She just shows up. Whatever. Like there's nothing that really feels threatening for her as a character. I don't know. Plus, yeah, it's just like she's like too strong for like the I don't know if setting is the right word, just like for the storylines going on, she's just like too strong. And I mean like I still like like Thor is strong as hell too, but like his villains can match it. Like her villain in her movie was a computer. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So, like, in the Marvels, we had to, like, have the villain absorb her energy, which, is a solution, but are you just going to have to do that every time? I don't know. And then you got War Machine. Bottom of B tier. I don't really got much to say. He's Iron Man, but with guns instead of the lasers. But hey, some people might like that like industrial kind of like bombs and missiles and guns and stuff more than the lasers. So I don't know. I'd say probably like Ant-Man more than Rocket. Yeah, I would say that's the list. And yeah, bye.